Hi, today I'm joined with Andrew Halliday, who is an absolute legend when it comes to technical SEO. And today's topic is about the importance of increasing and improving crawl budget. So, Andrew, take it away and let us know why it's important to try to be increasing crawl budget on websites.
Yeah, so every website starts off with a set crawl budget. And obviously, that might only be, there's no hard and fast rule, but let's call it 5,000 hits a month. But obviously, you might have 10,000 pages on your site, but if you've only got 5,000 hits, then Google's not going to visit every single page every single month. Therefore, any changes you make on your site aren't going to be reflected in the SERPs. So the more crawls you get, the sooner that your pages will reflect in the SERP, the higher rankings you get, the more traffic you get. Increasing.
So, with regards to crawl budget, let's say the default, and obviously it does vary, but let's say the default was 5,000 hits. How do you look to increase the crawl budget?
So there's multiple ways of doing it. First of all, having a site that is constantly stable, so not going down, so no 500 errors. That's the biggest red flag. The more 500 errors you have, the less chance of Google are crawling it, so they'll decrease your crawl budget. So first of all, getting your foundations right is the key. Then after that, it's all about what I will call traditional things like building high quality backlinks. So Google sends more trust signals to you, putting schema on your site so that Google understands more about your company, that you are legit. Just more trust signals, more, as daft as it sounds, non-organic traffic. So are you sending paid traffic to your site? Are you doing social signals? And there's ways you can manipulate it, or you can just do it with real traffic from, say, Facebook.
Does the quality of the content, does that increase or decrease crawl budget as well?
The quality does, yes. So if you just suddenly, and this has obviously exploded in the last 2 years with ChatGPT, if you're just chucking up ChatGPT quality content straight onto your site with no editor's approval, it's full of M dashes, it's written by ChatGPT, then Google's going to think, what's the point in this site? I'm not coming back. So yes, the quality does really matter. I'm not saying you can't use AI content, just don't use it straight out of the box. So yeah, the quality is important.
Yeah, and then with regards to crawl budgets, is there any? How do you track whether your crawl budget is going up or going down? Is there specific tools or services that you can use to track that crawl budget?
So you need to look at, there's several ways, but basically you need to look in your server logs to pull out the files to see how many times Googlebot's hitting you every single day. You don't really want to look at a day in isolation. You want to trend it more over time. So you don't want to say, actually, today I only had 200. It's more how many you get over the week and a month. It's really your monthly crawl budget, because Google does have spikes. But there are tools out there. You can just download your log files and then input them into something like Screaming Frog has a log analyzer tool, which is quite basic, but will give you the data. I have all custom tools because I've been doing it for far longer than these tools have been around. I believe SEMrush had one where you could do it in there. So there are multiple tools out there that you can do it in, but the key is you've got to download your server logs, look in the data, and look at the trend rather than specific days.
Yeah, so if, let's say I had the crawl data from the server logs, obviously you've mentioned there Screaming Frog, there's like places like Jet Octopus. But if I wanted to outsource that to, let's say, a specialist like yourself that does server log analysis and stuff like that, how can I place the order with you to go, there's my server logs, can you come back to me and tell me either what can be improved or what's happening? Do I need to upgrade my server because I'm getting 500 errors? How do I go and place an order with someone like yourself?
The best way is just to go onto either my main site, andrew-halliday.com, or onto my technical site, onpage.rocks. And typically I ask for 3 months worth of logs. What I've mentioned before, looking at the trend, ideally you want at least 3 months. 6 months is better. Anything more than 6 months is a bit irrelevant, but 3 to 6 months worth of data is ideal. If you've only got 28 days, it's a start, and we can look at it, especially for things like the 500 errors. That would be quick to jump out. But also then in the logs, while we're talking about the logs, things like stop wasting crawl budget. So if you've got a load of pages on your website that are 301 redirecting because you can't be bothered to go in there and change them, well, that every time that Google hits that 301, it's an extra hit in your crawl budget. So just remove it, just go through your site and fix all the things you can, all the basic errors.
Yeah, so obviously then if I couldn't afford, let's say, your professional service of doing server log analysis, and I wanted to try and load the server logs into, let's say, Screaming Frog or Jet Octopus, is it just the Googlebot activity that I'm looking for? Is that it? I'm not looking at anything else. Am I looking at Bing as well, or is it literally just Googlebot?
Just Googlebot. You can look at the other. So historically, Googlebot or BingBot was the most active bots on your site, and then in the top 10, you would maybe see Ahrefs or SEMrush. Within the last 2 years, that's changed. Google's so there's about between 5 and 10 now. It's all the AI bots that's usually in top 5 bot activities on your site. It is still important to understand what they're doing on your site. I'm not discounting that, but if you want to know what Google's doing, then yeah, it's just Googlebot. And also, look, there's several Google bots. Ideally, you want the different variations to crawl in. So Google News, so if you can get featured in a Google News article, that triggers Google News bot to come to your site. If you are a recruiter and you can get the Google recruitment bot to come to your site, that's even better because Google trusts and puts more weight into them bots. So you do want to be trying to get the different bots to come and visit your site.
Yeah, so obviously on that there, you can try to get, like you said there, the Googlebot News, Googlebot job listing bot and stuff like that. All them different types of bots that coming through to your site then will start to increase your crawl budget. So for anyone watching this, I just want to round off. What would you say if they're not tracking their crawl stats and then they're not tracking the crawl budget? How important is it? Like, is this an absolute necessary for them to be looking at it to see whether, like, so many people obsess over rankings, impressions and clicks, but not many people seem to track the crawl kind of data. How important do you think this is?
If you, it's very important if you've got a medium to large scale site. So if you've got a website that's got 5 pages and you're a local plumber, it's not going to have no impact. But if you're an e-commerce site with 20,000 product pages, a couple of hundred category pages, so your site's 25, 30,000 pages plus a blog, then it's super important. So it really depends on the size of the site. I know it's a cop out most SEOs give, but it does depend. But if you are a large scale site, it is super important for you to be tracking it.
Yeah. So anyone who's watching this, if you're not tracking your crawl budget, if you're not tracking your crawl stats, leave a comment in the comment section. There will be a link through to onepage.rocks and Andrew Halliday's website if you need a professional server log analysis kind of individual to come and have a look at it and give you the feedback, give you the errors that need to be fixed. You can use, if you are familiar with your server logs and export that, you can use something like Screaming Frog and Jet Octopus. But the most important part and the key takeaway from this video is make certain you're tracking that. Make certain you're tracking that crawl data. Make certain you're not getting them 500 errors, because all it's going to do is decrease the amount of crawl budget further down the line. Make certain you're tracking those crawl stats and the crawl budget. And thanks a lot for having you, Andrew Halliday. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.